Good morning, class. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well and ready for the next class. I hope your weekend was good, went well. So today we are going to learn the remaining parts of speech. We are done with the adjectives, the conjunctions, nouns, pronouns. Today we shall learn 4 parts of speech. So without any delay, let us have a poll first for 5 minutes on prepositions. Let's have a poll if you're ready. Yeah, thank you for your thumbs up. I hope Madhavi ma'am is working on it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. All right, there you go. There are 3 questions on prepositions. If you can see, the first one is your brother dash home. So there are 3 options. Is it in, at, on? Which one? Select. And the second one, there is no unity dash the elders. Is it among, between, or within? Select. And the third question is, he is a man dash humble origin. The options are of, with, and from. So whatever you think is the right answer, select it and then submit. Oh, we have almost 50% of the students voted. There are 164 of you today. That's good. It's a nice number. %65% of you have voted. And I see that most of you are confused with the third one. Monica is done with. She says thumbs up. Reva also, and then Chanvi, Mohan. All right, let's end the voting and let's see. All right, the first question is your brother at home is the right answer. Almost 94% of you have answered it right. And the second one, there is no unity among the leaders. The option among here is correct. So almost 84% of you have answered it. That's nice. And looks like you are confused. The third one, he is a man of humble region. So, well, so I understood that you have a subtle knowledge of the prepositions. As we learned today, the prepositions and the parts of prepositions, then we may understand it better. I can see Karthik here. Karthik, I promised you that I would share the slide. I'll definitely share it to you in the next class. I could not do it this time. Fine, we shall start the class. Let me share my screen. We'll start with verbs first. I hope you all can see my screen. I hope everybody can see my screen. All right, let's begin. So we'll start with the conjunctions worksheet that I gave you. There are 3 worksheets I remember I gave you when I explained you the conjunctions. So these are the answers for those worksheets. This is the first one. If you could take a screenshot of it. or take a pic of it quickly so that you can cross check whether what you wrote is correct or not. So this is the first uh, worksheet with the answers given there. Let me move further. This is the second on subordinating. The first one was on coordinating conjunctions. The second worksheet is on subordinating conjunctions, and these are the answers. Quickly take a screenshot. And the third one, correlative, the ones that are underlined in red are the answers. So please take a screenshot of this one too, so that you can cross check your answers. Well, let's move further. Today we shall learn the verbs, adverbs, prepositions, and interjection. So here, verbs and adverbs, they almost go hand in hand because they are related. So the reason why I have selected these two only in this class is because you can understand it better. And then prepositions are not as hard as verbs and adverbs are, and interjections are a little easier than the rest. So I hope you understand it well. Let's see what verbs are. So here we go, the types of verbs: action verbs and modal verbs or auxiliary verbs. Actually, modal verbs again come under auxiliary verbs. So we shall see in detail what these verbs are. And then in adverbs, we shall learn about the types of adverbs, that are adverbs of reason, affirmation, time, place, degree, frequency, manner, and negation. These are the types of adverbs that we're going to learn today. And moving to the next, prepositions. We are going to learn the types of prepositions. Prepositions of time, place, direction, agent, instrument. And then in interjections, we shall learn about where in what different places we use introduction in what way. So let's move further. We shall first see the types of verbs: action verbs and linking verbs. You all know pretty well that action verbs are something that you do, but linking verbs is something that you do not do, but they link something. If we see more examples, we'll understand. Let's go further. Check this out. The first example says Mahesh smelled the cake. But if you see the second example, the cake smelled good. There's a huge difference between these two. If you see, there's a person in the first example, and that person is doing some work. You know what work he is doing? He's smelling. He smelled the cake, the work done by Mahesh. But the next one, there's no one to do any work. But the word smelled here connected something. If you see, say Mahesh smelled the cake. I know you are all laughing, huh? Right, the cake smelled good. The cake smelled good. You can see Mahesh there is subject, and the action done by Mahesh is the direct action, or that's why it's called an action verb. It's done by him, but the cake is a direct object. But in the second example, if you see, the cake becomes the subject, but it doesn't do any work. So this smell here used as linking verb to link. And at the end, if you see, it's the subjective complement. The object is a complement for the subject. So in the next slide, if you see, the first type is called transitive verb, and the second type of verb is called intransitive verb. Both are smelled. There's no difference. There also it is smelled, here also it is smelled. But there we call it transitive, but here we call it intransitive. There's a reason for it. Why is it transitive there and why is it intransitive here? I'll tell you the reason. So let's move further. These are various question forms that we have. There are 7 with WH and 1 with H. You all know it. You all know this pretty well. See, first one's what, whom, when, why, who, whose, where, and how. These are various question forms. I will do something here. I have divided them. I have divided what and whom and from the rest. And there's a reason why I did that, I'll tell you. Because the first two fall under the transitive, the rest fall under the intransitive. I know there's a confusion. If I give you more examples, then you understand how do we use what and whom and how do we use the rest. We shall see. Check this out. Mahesh smelled the cake was our sentence. In this sentence, what you need to do is check out where the verb is. Yes, the verb is smelled, of course. And after the verb, immediately after the verb, what you do is you ask the questions, all the questions that you see on the screen. What, whom, when, why, who, whose, where, and how. Let us see for which one we get an answer. Mahesh smelled what? Yes, there's an answer. The cake. But if I say Mahesh smelled whom? No, there won't be any answer. If I say Mahesh smelled when? Of course, there's no answer given there, no time. Mahesh smelled why? The reason isn't given. Mahesh smelled whose, where, how. There are no answer for any of the verbs that are being named. But there's an answer for the first one, what. So, Mahesh smelled what? The cake. So if the word what comes there, it is transitive. Easy way to understand and apply. Check out the next example. Ram rides a bike. Most of you all, I think, are great fans, huge fans of Ram. All right. So Ram rides a bike. Now check out where the verb is. Yes, the verb is rides. As I told you, immediately after the verb, ask all those questions. Ram rides what? Yes, the answer is a bike. But if I say Ram rides when, there's no answer. Ram rides where? We don't know. Ram rides how? We don't know. But the answer is for Ram rides what? A bike. So because what came, this word rides becomes a transitive verb. Now check this out. Tarak runs fast. Tarak runs fast. Now check this out. Where is the verb? Yes, the verb is runs. I told you immediately after the verb, ask the question. Tarak runs what? No, this time the word what is invalid here, isn't it? Tarak runs whom? Nope. Tarak runs when? We don't know. Tarak runs why? Maybe some emergency, we don't know. Tarak runs who? Tarak runs whose? But the last one, if you Tarak runs how? You have an answer for this. How? Fast. So because the word how came and how is an intransitive type, so the verb runs becomes an intransitive verb. Pawan went to his brother. If you see, the verb here is went. So immediately after the verb, you know what you have to put. You have to put the questions, the given questions. Pawan went what? No. Pawan went whom? No. Pawan went when? We don't know. Why? No answer. Pawan went where? So the answer is to his brother. So the verb went becomes intransitive verb. I hope you got a little idea about the transitive and intransitive. Last word we'll see. Kohli wakes up at 6. So what's the verb here? Wakes up. The question that would be used is when, and the verb wakes here becomes transitive. It's not that the verb wakes is only transitive or intransitive. It can be transitive also, it can be intransitive also. It can act as both. But what matters here is the subject that comes at the end. Whether the answer what, whom, when, depending on the answer for that, we decide. I hope you understood it. Let's move to models. Models is something, this grammar topic is something that you are mostly aware of because you have been learning this since quite a long time. So we shall quickly move further. The modal verbs, there are the types of modal verbs displayed on the screen. If you can see, the first type is can, in which the verb can, the modal verb can be used for giving permission or asking permission, expressing possibility, ability, I can do it. and then request, can I, or do something or take something, or to offer something to people, or like general truths. Like you can see the example there, exercise can help reduce stress, or giving suggestions. So can is used in these areas, these places. If you move further to could, it is used as the past tense. In the examples you see at the end, you could dance well, you couldn't speak well, showing an ability here, isn't it? And could you speak well is an interrogation, and it is used to offer permission, ability, possibility, request, suggestion, just like can. I hope this is clear. If we move further, the next one is shall and should. So it's used for suggestions again. This is something common we see in every model verb. And we see it for instructions, for promises, for confirmation, and asking, shall I go ahead in this way? All right, so and should is for advice. You should visit a doctor if you say that's an advice given to somebody if somebody is sick, or it's an obligation, a compulsion which cannot be avoided. So these are the uses of shall and should. I'm explaining it to you in a subtle manner only because you are already aware of this, I guess, because we have other parts of speech also to learn. All right. Next we have will and would. Will is used for future. You see, in future tense we use will be, will have, and will have been. All right. And then we use it for request also, to ask something or to grant something. And we also use it for offer, so willingness especially, and for refusal in negative sense. And coming to the modal verb would, used for refusal. Check out the example there. I would play a guitar when I was a child. I would smell something burning and request you, would you hand me the pencil? Would you please help me? For requests. And then to offer, I would help you with Spanish. And then as conditional also, if I had a car, I would drive around the world. It's a condition. If condition it is. All right. And in future, in the past tense. Example, she promised she would teach me, or like a tutor to me. And the next one, if you see may and might, there's no difference, huge difference between may and might, but the degree is different. If you see, may can be used in three different forms: asking and giving permission. Whenever you enter the class, you say, may I come in, teacher? It's asking permission, and your teacher says, yep, you may come in, giving permission. Request, may I have some water? And granting the request, yes, you may. Possibility means expecting something, guessing something would happen. Say, it may rain today, or I may go today. If you say I may go today, you're not sure whether you really will go or not. And for wish also, may this year bring you joy. You wish using this word may. So these are the places where you use may. And might, you see here, is just like may, but one is strong happening, one is not very strong, weak happening. So we use might and may in this way. Should, ought to are same. Instead of should, you can use ought to, but coming down to had better, it is compulsion. Okay, I already told you, should is for should is for giving suggestions. Ought to is also used to give suggestions, but had better is compulsion. You are left with no option. So these are some helping verbs that you see on the screen. Am, is, are, was, were, being, the been, and be, which is was, form, are common. We have, and then have, has, had, which can be separately remembered for your better understanding. And we have do, does, did. You can remember this separately. And the models: can, could, will, would, shall, should, and may, might. These are the helping verbs. So moving forward to the adverbs. So before we move to the adverbs, we have two questions on verbs. So let us have another 2 or 3 minutes for a poll. We have 2 questions on verbs because we are just done with verbs. Let me see how many of you will answer it better. Well, I hope ma'am is working on it.
Yes, sir. 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Meanwhile, what is displayed on the screen are the types of adverbs. You can see. All right, here we go. The question. Animals dash kindness and respond to it. The answer could be understand, understood, understands. And then the next question. There was a little tree that dashed in the woods bravely. The options here are stand, stood, standing. Right, you are all answering very fast. Almost 30% is done. That's great. Well, that's nice. Let's end polling. Check out the results. So the answer is animals understand kindness and they respond to it. The answer is understand. The reason why it's not understands is because animals there is plural. We have something called subject verb concord, where you see the verb must be used without s when you use it for plurals. And the second one, there was a little tree that stood bravely, stood in the woods bravely. Most of you have answered this one correct. Well, thank you. Let's see the adverbs without any delay. So we have these adverbs. First one is adverb of reason, adverbs of affirmation, adverbs of time, place, adverbs of degree, frequency, adverbs of manner, and negation. The words itself, those words itself tell you what they actually are. See, the reason. When do you generally say reason? Actually, why and when do you use these adverbs? To describe how the work is done is what an adverb is. Let's see the reason. If you can identify the words that are used for reasons, because he was not feeling well, he didn't go to the school. There's a reason clearly seen there. It was raining heavily, therefore he stayed in the house. He was late, hence he was not allowed to attend the assembly. I was hungry, so I ate pizza. I know pizzas are banned. KCS are banned pizzas. He has banned Swiggy and Zomato, isn't it? I know some of you are feeling so sad. He asked us to eat dal rice, right? Enjoy dal rice. So since it is hot, I am getting uncomfortable. Accidentally, he wrote his father's name instead of his name. So what you see here in these six examples is reason for some action happened. So these are adverbs of reason. And then there's an easy way to identify the adverbs of reason. When there's a question on why, you can easily get an answer in the form of a reason. See, why is Rahul not showing up for the lectures? Because maybe some reason you can say. And before you said the reason, you said because. So that itself says that it's an adverb of reason. So if you can check the other examples, you will understand it better. The next one, if you see affirmation, confirmation, in other words. You see the first one? I can probably go there. He will surely give you money. Raj clearly states his concern. We are definitely leaving tomorrow. See the stressed word, the words that I'm stressing. Pooja doubtlessly agrees on his side. Ria exactly knows the right thing to do. Here, you see all the words that are in bold. These are the adverbs of affirmation, which describe the work. How will I go? Probably go. Surely give. Clearly states. Definitely leave. Doubtlessly agree. So, because I told you that adverbs are something that describe the verb. So these are the ones that are, the affirmation type that describe the verb or how the verb is done. Work is done. Let's see the time. Easy one to understand. You see, how often is mentioned here. I often eat vegetarian food. He never drinks milk. You must always fasten your seatbelt. I am seldom late. So you see, these are the words that we generally use when we generally do these works is when we use this. Always, sometimes. But I know most of you say, sir, sometimes. But I'm sorry, this word sometimes is incorrect. You're not supposed to use it sometimes. Instead, you can use the above words: often, never, always, seldom, rarely, etc. And then the next type, if you see from 7, when, once in a week, or 5 days a week, or 7 times, or when is it done? Yesterday. When was it done? Yesterday. When will it be done? Tomorrow, today, later, now, last year. All these, words that are in bold tell us time, when the work was actually done. The next one is place. Check it out. Adverbs of place. John looked around. Looked where? Describe the where did he look? Around. So it's a place. When you look, it's a place. I searched everywhere. Search is a verb, I told you. Where did you search? Everywhere. So we have other examples. They built a house where? Nearby. So all the words that are in bold are the other examples of adverbs of place. Then we have adverbs of degree or level. The girl was very beautiful. The house is very expensive. She runs very fast. It's too hot. So what's the level of it? The degree. It is the degree. So we use adverbs of degree in this way. Moving forward, degrees of frequency. Between what time and what time it happens. So most companies pay taxes yearly. Then we have the manager checks the toilets every hour. The directors meet weekly to review progress. So these are some examples of degrees of frequency. And we have degrees of manner, how it is done. So he swims how? Well, he ran how? Quickly. She spoke softly. So in what manner he or she or is in what manner is the work done? To tell this, we use this. There are some examples that I have taken. You can see them. Some are used in incorrect way. Check that out. The 7th one. He ate greedily the chocolate cake. Is incorrect. Why is it incorrect? The next one, if you see, he ate the chocolate cake greedily. He greedily ate the chocolate cake because it describes the verb, right? How actually he ate it. And then the next one you see, he gave us generously the money. Same like the above. He gave us the money generously, or he generously gave us the money. These are other examples of the adverbs of man. And we have negation. Negation is negative or not, in other words. So everywhere you see a negative sentence. Rick is not here. Peter has no books. Sam has never been there. John did nothing for his project. Neither I nor you attended the program. None of us liked the movie. So these are all the examples of negation where negativity is seen. So What you see here is our prepositions. So prepositions tell us where the object is placed, or the noun or the pronoun, where whatever you say. If you call it by its name, a noun, or if you replace it with a pronoun, where is it placed? Tells us what preposition it is. You can see a cupcake everywhere. In the first one, you see it's in the box. The cake is in the box. The next one is the cake is on the box. Where is it placed is what the prepositions are. It's below the box. It's above the box. It's near the box. It's far from the box. It's behind the box. It's in front of the box. So these are other examples. And the last column you see, it's among. See, among is one thing that most of you, some of you have answered it wrong. When I said between and among, there's a difference. If you can see in the last column, if something that you are talking about is placed between two, it's between. But something that you're talking about is placed, among so many people or so many, then you call among. You can see there are so many cupcakes. Among them is this pink one, and there are two cupcakes. Between these two is the pink one cupcake. So this is the way you use, because we had this question in the I told you this. Right, let's continue. Types of prepositions. We have simple prepositions, double prepositions, compound prepositions, participle prepositions, disguised prepositions, and phrase prepositions. And all of them are used to tell us where the object is in simple way. Prepositions are actually very easy. See this? Simple preposition is when a preposition consists of one single word. It's called single preposition or simple preposition. Examples: in, on, at, for, from, up, after. You saw some in the previous slide, isn't it? Check the examples. He sat on the chair. There is some milk in the fridge. She was hiding under the table. So under, over, on, in. These are single word prepositions that are used to tell us where the object is placed. So these are simple prepositions. We have double, easy to understand. They are not single. When a preposition consists of more than one, it's called double. The examples are into, within, up to. Check the examples. He was too deeply engrossed into the activity. The prestige of a nation lay upon its citizens. It's not single, it's double. Two prepositions coming together, but making a new sense. All right, these are double prepositions. And then we have compound prepositions, which consist of two or more words. See, on behalf of, according to, in front of, from, across. See the examples. We are running out of time. We shall move further. The cat is jumping around. See, along. All right. These are the other examples. So we have participle pronoun. In participle pronoun, we generally have ing, ending with ing. See, please, everyone, please keep quiet during class. So, considering my grandfather's age, we keep our travels less exhausting. So these are other examples. We have disguised prepositions. What I want you to do is, these are actually a bit more interesting as well as important also. Generally, you must never have heard of this. I'll give you a task. I want you all to work on these prepositions, especially disguised prepositions, what they are and how they are used. In our next class, we shall have a poll on these disguised prepositions first, and only then we shall move further. I want you to do some research on it, to work on it, and to know it better. What ways you can use it and where it is actually used is what you must find out. Please write it down. Disguised prepositions. Then we have phrasal prepositions, which it used in the form of phrases. You all know that phrases group of words. We already saw clause and phrase are group of words. See the examples: as far as long as. as soon as well as. These are examples of phrasal prepositions. You see the interjections. One, interjections of greeting, in which we say hey, hello, hi. These are the words that we use. Exclamations. Interjections of joy, say wow, hooray. These are the words that we use for interjections of joy. And then we have interjections for approval and praise. So when you praise somebody, compliment somebody, well done, bravo, brilliant. These are the interjections that are used for praising. And then we have interjection of attention. So behold, look. So behold is used when you give attention to somebody or grab somebody's attention. We have interjection of surprise. What? Oh, really? These are the words that we use for surprise. And then we have for sorrow and pain. We say, alas, this is most used. Ouch also can be used when you get hurt. For grief and pain, alas it is. And for bidding farewell, goodbye or bye or so long. In the lesson Jody's Pond, I think this is Jody's Pond. You see the word so long. So long means goodbye. All right, and then we have interjections for expressing doubt or hesitation. You see, is an interjection where you say that you have a doubt, not really sure what happened. And then we have interjections for expressing calling. We already saw that. So we have these task sheets, as I told you in the last class. If you remember, this was the task sheet that we had on adverbs and adjectives. I gave you this task sheet in the last class and I asked you all to answer it. So I hope you all have answered it. These are the answers for the task sheet. So without any delay, please take a screenshot of it or click a pic of it so that what you have answered can be checked, cross-checked. So we are running out of time. If you could make it a bit quick, then this is the first bit on adjectives. Then the next one. Please take a screenshot of this one too. Adjectives. I think this was one thing that we discussed in the last class. I think you must be having this. We have the Villa of Vampires here, a passage or a conversation in which you are asked to change the words into adverbs and use them. The given words are adjectives, but you need to change them to adverbs. I hope you took a screenshot for a bit. Let's move further. Fill in the blanks with either the adverb or adjective and the verb given in the bracket. So these are the answers for the next one. And the next one. Take a screenshot of this. As I told you, next week we will have 3 more classes in this week, in which we will be learning subject verb agreement and tenses. But before we start the next class, we shall have, as I told you, disguised prepositions, a poll on disguised prepositions. So I want you to work on that without fail. All right. With this ends our, and we are almost. It's almost 12:10. So there are some students who raised hands. Karthik.
Sir, reflexive teachers I asked, no sir.
Sorry.
I asked reflexive pronouns, no sir.
Yes.
That slide.
Okay.
That and
or is
teachers also.
Sorry.
Integer slide, sir. At first you gave an integer slide, no, sir. The
Okay.
words and
Right. I'll surely post that.
okay.
All right. There are hardly any students. I see very few raising hand. We have Maitri. Yes, Maitri. Maitri, you are unmuted. You can speak. All right. Maybe there's an issue. I guess. Fine. Because it is
Sir,
time.
can you hear me?
Who is it? Maitri? Hello?
Sir, what is the difference between around and among?
Among, I told you, is in between a group of people. It is where are you among. But where is it, or where it's around is, around you. But where you are exactly placed is among.
Okay, sir,
Around
thank you.
and you are among somebody, a group of people. All right. Fine. Then with this we shall end today's class. It is time. See you in the next class. Have fun. Take care.